Hey everyone, welcome back to more of the Fermi Paradox. I'm DisturbingPuppet. So we have some interesting things going on in the galaxy here. So the Dorloth Democratic States here are chugging along, doing fairly well. Population growth is kind of high, but they've got enough resources to last them for a while. But they have hollowed out an asteroid, filled it with some colonists, and it's heading off towards the next closest planet. So this is the Dorloth Meteor ship. So we have filled this up with about 10,000 Dorloth. There's no growth at the moment, but that's fine for stability. So they've got resources for 136 years. Not sure what's going to happen when they get to the planet as far as resources go, or what they'll be able to do. But we might have some very interesting or odd things happening as they move out. There is a radio signal that was intentionally sent out by the Dorloth quite a while back with some jazz music included that is slowly spreading out, making its way towards the others, including the Maru, who are now the Maru Multitudes, who've gotten through a whole series of resource wars, massively ramped up their technological advancement, and are now even more advanced than the older race, the Dorloth, and are working on getting through the Cyber Age. Yeah, negative growth, but their population's fairly stable, they're not super militant, they're actually pretty balanced here, ethically. Every time we run into resource conflicts, they fight each other, but then they come up with a technological solution. So they've been doing well. Might want to push their growth up a bit, though. The Batir are into the industrial era, just kind of slowly chugging along. Growth is pretty massive. They currently have lots of resources, but it sort of depends on like what planet you're on, how that's going to go. These guys are very utopian and just kind of happy to hang out. Then we have our angry headhunter militaristic bug people, who now let their oldest members sort of rule, which I would think would be kind of odd considering they're headhunters. And if you're weak, I think they would just, kill someone and take their head. But they're only the Obsidian era, which is the tech level 2, so they're just out of the Stone Age and now using Obsidian weapons and stuff. And we're just going to let them do their own thing and be as militaristic as they want. That's fine. Alright, the Maru I think are in good shape. We could kind of just let them progress. We're going to try to get the Dorloth here to sort of be a bit more stable as we progress. Never open the radioactive tombs on Rigel 7. Our ancestors accumulated deadly irradiated material there and sealed them away forever. Something's going on Glies. Oh, sapient life has evolved. We're actually sending people there, though. The Dorloth are sending people there. Interesting. A new civilization is born. A life form on the desert planet Gliese has started making simple tools and has developed a rudimentary language. But which species will forge a Stone Age civilization in the Gliese system? So the Dorloth are headed that way. Another civilization is born. You'll have to foster these creatures too. Guide them in parallel with the other civilizations in the galaxy, and one day they may make contact. Synthesis can be used to help any society. Sometimes you'll have to make hard choices to ensure the survival of everyone. I don't have to. Okay. So it's a desert planet with rocky planets. Iron oxide gives it a reddish color. All animals on the surface carry additional water reservoirs and special organs so they can survive in the desert. Huge hypersaline lakes divide the land regions, and between their salt crystal shores, vast forests of transparent flower trees are flourishing. So, balanced, the prune, peaceful observers, gentle herds of four-eyed horse-like humanoids roam the wide rocky deserts. Standard, the Rao, aggressive and solitary, these naturally armored creatures inhabit barren wastelands. Or the Car, always hungry and merciless, these nightmarish avian creatures rule the sky. So they're flying, furry snake things. We do have Dorloth on the way. I think we just go for the balanced. So we'll go with the Rao. Home of the Rao drifts. So they're fine, growth is good, Stone Age, they're pretty balanced. On Gliese, the Rao civilization is born. Alright, yeah, I've got way more species and stuff than the last time I played this. I want to go to the Dorloth, please, thank you. Alright. So I kind of want to get the Dorloth out of the nuclear age. They were the oldest race, but they're falling behind technologically. Oh, something's going on the meteor ship. Probably something bad. Dorloth depopulation. Faulty cryo chambers. The primitive cryosleep technologies of the meteor ship can lead to fatal damages to the frozen passengers. These defects are only visible when the Dorloth are unfrozen at regular intervals. When we tried to revive our cleaning staff, we discovered they'd been dead for nearly 30,000 years. Who's going to clean away the bodies? That's what I want to know. No, it's from Hitchhiker's Guide. So it is moving. It's moving out there. Alright, so prevention. Simple computer system detects anomalies among the frozen crew and alerts a captain. After many years of research and engineering, the cryo system is repaired. Regular development. After the first crew members perished, the onboard rocket scientists can repair most of the critical issues. But even still, there are times when Dorloth never awake from cryosleep, or massive depopulation. Complete cryosystem is broken beyond repair, and suspended sleep is a pure gamble of life and death. Many will not survive the journey. What do we have? We're fine. I think prevention costs us no points, so we'll just do that. Fix the cryo chambers, not an issue. Captain once saved the entire frozen crew by detecting a fatal flaw in the cryosleep systems. Alright, Dorloth, continue pushing along. Let's drop the growth a bit. Yeah, every time here it's the defrosted titans eating people. Seen that before. Influential secretary rises to power. We don't want negative tech, thanks. New democratic state. Yeah, we'll keep dropping the growth a bit here. Battle over an important residential area is won by an army of motorized infantry. Let's go tech. State-of-the-art laboratory. The Dorloth achieve new scientific insights. The Batir have something going on. Vex is sending signals to space. Propaganda broadcast. The leaders of Vexus discover the power of propaganda broadcasted via radio messages. Wireless broadcasts reach countless Batir with the latest political doctrine. In fact, the signals are so strong that they'll reach outer space. And if all others accepted the lie which the party imposed, if all records told the same tale, then the lie passed into history and became truth. Who controls the past, ran the party slogan, controls the future. Who controls the present, controls the past. George Orwell. So, we've gone from, we're like utopian propagandists, apparently. Signal boost propaganda is very effective, and they're flooded day and night with radio messages enforcing the current political doctrine. The signal is strong, drifting out into space to reach other systems one day. Regular signal, leaders promoting the propaganda fade away into history, but their manipulative and biased speeches leave Vexus as radio signals. The message travels through space, steadily drifting towards the Kepler system. Or silence. Batir revolt against the demagogues, refusing to listen to such blatant propaganda. The radio transmission is stopped and nothing is sent into outer space. It doesn't cost us anything to boost it. It just affects the culture. We'll just do the regular signal, I think, because I think this might affect culture going forward, and I'd rather not mess with them too much. So regular signal is fine. So it's only going to out here where the bugs are. Don't know if they'll actually pick it up. Depends on their technological level by the time it gets there. Same here with the jazz signal. The Maru, we're definitely going to pick it up. The Batir might by the time it gets there, because they're already industrial, so they'd pick it up already. So everybody's at least industrial except for my aggressive bug people and the new Rao drifts out here, who are doing fine. We can just kind of let them cruise along. So, yeah, we're halfway through the Cyber Age, 280 years. Growth is still negative for the Maru, but that's keeping them kind of going. Alright, we're almost out of the nuclear age here. Let's drop growth a bit more. Battle over an important Dorloth residential area is won by an army of motorized infantry. That should get us to the next era. No? Okay. Same stuff. Let's go with resources. Alright. Technological age. So getting into the digital age for the Dorloth. So we've seen this before. Complex computer systems, satellite networks, mobile communications devices, constant interaction with the global computer network and new digital art forms. Cultural transformation is stark and rapid. Preliminary genetic and biodigital experiments could lead to health improvements and longevity. Precaution is advised in these and other uncharted territories. So, wisdom doesn't cost us anything. Dorloth all over Rigel 7 have unprecedented access to information thanks to the internet. With processing power to spare, they may launch a coordinated search for intelligent life in the galaxy, or try to find cures for the deadliest diseases. Advancement. Continue exploration of space with renewed vigor, navigating the pitfalls of mass consumerism. Decontamination specialists explore possibilities for genetically modified crops that are safe to eat, also sustainable for farmers and the environment. Or we can go guided missiles, enhanced recon, remotely piloted combat drones, autonomous killing machines. Yeah, all that good stuff. I think we'll just go wisdom. It doesn't cost us anything. Keep them moving technologically. Right, at one point in the Regencies, revered the lush pocket jungles hidden beneath the ice crust, which kind of kept them going and alive. Dorloth can now connect large metropolitan areas on a global scale. Yeah, they're good. Fossil fuels, 770 years. Moving along technologically, I think they are in good shape. The meteor doesn't give me a countdown on how long until they're actually going to get there, but you can kind of see physically they are about halfway there, it looks like. So yeah, they should be fine. There's still about 100 years of resources. Just kind of checking in on everybody. The Mara were doing good. They're actually getting pretty close to being out of the Cyber Age. The Batir, we could maybe sit on the Batir for a bit. I think they need to drop their growth. Industrialization gives the Batir access to fossil fuels and mineral resources deep and below the surface of Vexus. It's utopian plant people. Our libraries offer answers to difficult questions. Oh, okay. Destination reached, Dorloth meteor ship. I'm not sure what's going to happen considering there are people there already, or sentient space. Reese is there already. Dorloth meteor ship made contact with the Rao drifts. A bright new star appears in the sky of Glia C. The Dorloth meteor ship has been spotted, provoking debate among both Rao storytellers and the meteor ship's crew. As the meteor ship begins its analysis of the pre-industrial civilization, its leader ponders their next action. A single lantern can both defy and define the darkness. Okay, so we're actually looking at it from the perspective of the Rao, it looks like. The miraculous light becomes a glowing ball of fire as the Dorloth meteor ship descends from the sky. Awestruck Rao watch as the alien Dorloth exit the meteor ship and attempt to communicate. Contact level 1. Surprise attack. Okay. Observation. Dorloth meteor ship remains in orbit, cautiously collecting data rather than approach the unpredictable aliens below. Meanwhile, Rao slowly grow accustomed to the new star, incorporating its presence into their rituals. I mean, they are just Stone Age. Avoidance. The star fades away as the Dorloth meteor ship continues on, leaving Glia C in peace. Perhaps in the distant future, Rao scientists will look back at the old legends and realize how close they came to alien contact. Now, we're going full contact here, buddy. Glia system. The Rao drifts board the Dorloth meteor ship. What? How did that happen? Surprise attack. First contact with the Rao inhabitants on Glia C seems peaceful and productive, so the crew of the Dorloth meteor ship let their guard down during the lengthy negotiation period. But during this time, a large fleet of warriors, they're just Stone Age, managed to sneak up to the alien intruders, storm the ship, and try to kill every Dorloth they can find. The simple creatures who stormed this sky raft so many seasons ago were not much more than murderous reptiles, and we have still no idea how they overpowered the advanced beings that built this vessel. Also, we actually don't know how they looked like because they were all devoured by our ancestors. Okay, boarding party. Rao with stone knives successfully infiltrate the ship. We got all kinds of stuff popping up there. And spread throughout its networks. On board, the armed astronauts try as best they can to fight off the Rao so that the Darloth meteor ship can depart the Glias system as quickly as possible. Victory, Darloth meteor ship, Glias conquered and moving to Alpha Centauri. Defeat, Rao abandon Glias and capture meteor ship. No way out. The intense fighting on board damages the chemical rocket engines of the Darloth meteor ship, triggering a catastrophic meltdown. The remaining armed astronauts manage to flee the destroyed ship, but are soon surrounded by Rao reinforcements. There seems to be no way out. Victory, conquer the Glia system, defeat, extinction. The alien leaders do not like surprises and shower the clans of the Rao with atomic missiles. While their world is burning, the Rao flock towards the ship, which is then the only safe spot on Glias C. Victory, leave system in Alpha Centauri, defeat Rowdrift's extinction. I mean, this way, it seems like both survive. So what is it showing me? Nuclear age, 6 base conflict level, harm potential 6. 1 survivor. This is very confusing. So it's showing sort of like tech level and everything. The Rao Stone Age. +2 conflict level. Strategic advantage +3. So 6. Dorloth. Conflict level 6. So it's even, it seems like. Invader wins a tie. Yeah, let's go ahead and go with the boarding party, I think. So there's a chance that Glies is conquered, or that the Rao capture the meteor ship, which is kind of funny considering they're just Stone Age aliens. So let's see what happens. Glias C is inhabited by Dorloth colonists. To begin, the first contact with the Rao drifts and the visiting Dorloth meteor ship seemed peaceful and productive, but it turns out to be a carefully orchestrated ruse, and after landing, visiting warriors manage to sneak into the bowels of the ship and proceed to indiscriminately try killing every last Dorloth they can find. The Rao were destroyed by the meteor ship. The meteor ship was captured by the Rao. Wait, so we just swapped, essentially? Is that what happened? The Dorloth begin to make the Glia system their home. Okay, so we now have... I was hoping we could have both in one place. So Glias is inhabited by the Dorloth colonists. It's now the Dorloth garrison, and we have the Rao stolen ship. So we have a Stone Age group of bugs traveling around on a ship that they can't control and don't know how to use. Now, flying around in space. Okay, I mean, that's kind of funny, so I like it. I don't know, where are they headed, does it say? It's kind of hard to click on them because they're Alpha Centauri. Okay, so they're headed way out here. That's a really long time. All right. Well then, so now we have 2 different Dorloth civilizations. So there's the Dorloth colonists, which we'd like to maybe get them... Wow. So they've got 22 million years worth of resources, because there's only 450 of them, so we might want to sit on you guys for a bit. Dorloth colonists establish a new faction. Dorloth meteor ship population crisis. The last Dorloth. The last of the crew. Only a few crew members are still alive aboard the meteor ship. The population was drastically reduced by crew decline. Are these the final days of the Dorloth? I didn't realize there were any left. I thought it was just the Rao on there. This is an SOS destruct call from the mining ship Red Dwarf. The crew were dead, killed by a radiation leak. The only survivors were Dave Lister, who was in suspended animation during the disaster, and his pregnant cat, who was safely sealed in the hold. From Red Dwarf. Okay, so stability. The Dorloth are able to stabilize their population and find a way to operate the ship with the few they have left. This is so weird because the Rao are also there. There's 50 Dorloth here. Technological decay. The few Dorloth left managed to counter the effects of crew decline but in doing so have lost the ability to operate advanced technology, regress back to the Bronze Age, or extinction. The ship's fate is a bleak one, the crew die out, and the meteor ship becomes a tomb. It costs a lot to keep these guys going. Let's go technological decay and see how that goes. Depopulated by crew decline, the crew of the meteor ship slowly lost their technological knowledge as they focused all their attention on survival. So they've got 20,000 years of resources. It's almost treating it like there's two separate ships, but it should be the same ship. Beginning to jury from Rigel to Alpha Centauri. Let's give you a bit more growth, I guess. Members of the Dorlath meteor ship crew recycle more than they consume. Rao stolen ship. Maybe they're just in different parts of the same ship. Stolen ship system, Rao consumption. During the long journey of the Rao stolen ship, the resource storage produced long ago in the Glea system started showing signs of deterioration. The logistics officer alarmed the captain about the situation. Yeah, it's sort of like treating it like they're technologically advanced, but they're Stone Age who just sort of like grabbed the ship when it landed. With a decent subspace scanner, it is no challenge to find a low-tech space breeder star barge bumbling through spacetime at sub-light speed. Only problem is that exactly all the valuable stuff that they brought from their core system will have decayed over thousands of years they need to arrive. Okay, so we have Astro Tinkers and Astro Shamans work for many years to prevent the deterioration of the onboard resource storage, developing a strong expertise and durability techniques. Regular development, Captain orders harsh guidelines to manage the consumption of the Rao crew. Deterioration will still reduce their resource storage, but far less resources will be used. Massive consumption, the crew do not find a solution, hope they will arrive in Alpha Centauri system before they run out of resource storage. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Let's just go regular development. During the long journey in the Rao stolen ship, the resource storage which had been produced in the Glea system started showing signs of deterioration, so a strict rationing system was implemented by the captain. Yeah, it's kind of weird. So that's the Rao stolen ship. Is it actually like two separate ships now? Is that kind of what it's doing? Yeah. So it actually is doing it as like two separate ships. So like the Dorlath ship is headed towards Alpha Centauri. The Rao stolen ship is also heading towards Alpha Centauri, which doesn't make sense that there's two of them now. Anyway, we want to go to the garrison, which is now the Dorlath colonists. So they're in the nuclear age. We need to get their growth up. Remarkable research laboratory from Dorlath colonies. There's new insights. Dorlath colonists develop new diagrams for their buildings and tools. The Maru have made it to another age. They're just flying through. Maru have reached the solar age. Overcoming previous limits of propulsion and engineering, Maru are now able to build ships capable of exploring and colonizing their own solar system. Advanced AI are built to escort them in their journey, while mastery of genetic engineering allows Maru and their crops to adapt to the new colonies. To read about cities and huge industrial enterprises and really successful colonization, you can imagine what it might have been like, what Mars ought to be like. Philip K. Dick. Alright, so wisdom does cost me here. Orbital space labs develop tech to allow Mara to expand even further into the cosmos. Advancement techniques are developed to allow terraforming and colony construction in even the harshest environments in the Tau Ceti system. Power, fleet of city-sized battleships patrol the Tau Ceti system to ensure that colonies remain loyal to the government on Tau Ceti 3. Yeah, I'll just go advancement. Plenty of resources for now. Growth is still negative. Now we've ticked over. Alright, so yeah, we're into the solar age. So the asteroid fields are now where we're looking for resources over 1,000 years. Not a huge population. Growth is now positive. Pretty balanced. Warfare potential's not that great. Well, it is about a third of the population. But that's pretty good when you've got nuclear weapons and stuff, I would think. So yeah, now we've got the Dorlath garrison, the Dorlath Democratic Group, Dorlath meteor ship, and somewhere out here is the Rao stolen ship, kind of heading out that direction. How's everybody doing? The Batir resources are fine. Growth is still pretty nuts. The Vakai, advancing very slowly. Growth is decent. Growth is kind of stabilized here a bit for the Dorlath. Let's continue here with the Dorlath for a little bit. Let's check in on the colonists. Yeah, it says garrison on the map, and then here it says Dorlath colonists. Yeah, we need growth. Dorlath found a promising new settlement base. The Batir have made it to a new age. Batir have reached the nuclear age, finally. So we've seen all of this before. So wisdom doesn't cost me. Batir romanticize technology as they begin to see the rapid, drastic changes it brings abroad in their society. Inspired by science fiction across all media, the Batir hope to make contact with alien life forms if there's anyone out there. Advancement costs us, we're not doing that. Power, we're not really militaristic. I mean, we're like super utopian, it doesn't make a lot of sense. We'll just go wisdom here, that's fine. So radioactive deposits also quite good. Oh, about 1,000 years. The Batir maintain populous library areas with large-scale energy production methods. So yeah, they've got giant tombs, they've got giant libraries, fairly conservationist. Growth is nuts, but they still have a lot of time to keep advancing. Check in on the garrison. Alright. I don't care too much about the guys in the ships, honestly. We'll just gotta let them do whatever they want. Remarkable Research Laboratory shares new insights. Establish a new faction. Growth is still very anemic. We'd like to have that go up. Come to build a thriving civilization here in Glias. Growth. Promising new settlement established. Kai have something going on. Enlightenment. Axiology. The philosophers of Kepler 4 began asking questions about the nature of what Vakai value. Until now, these values have been fixed by tradition and old writings, but curious minds have begun to explore new ideas. Why do they follow the moral rules that they do? Why do they find certain sights and sounds pleasing? And most importantly, what should they value? What is a cynic? A man who knows the price of everything and the value of nothing. Lady Winder's Fan by Oscar Wilde. So, axiology, civilizational pillar. Discard the old idea that their values are formed by the gods or long-dead trapper prolocutors. Instead, they look to philosophers in their own rational sense. Philosophers develop a myriad of different value systems and circulate the information widely via writings. Most, however, are frowned upon as being too far from traditional ideas. Or dead end, the musings of the philosophers become extremely esoteric, and few common Vakai can follow their logic. Interesting. Let's just do regular... No, that's going to cost me, isn't it? So, going from crazy headhunters into, like, being run by philosophers, apparently that's fine. It doesn't cost me anything, so sure, we'll do that. During the Obsidian Age, the Vakai became proud individualists who believed that each person was wise enough to determine what was most valuable for them. A revolutionary new understanding of ethics and aesthetics emerged, leading to exciting new sculptures and philosophical works. Even though they're a bunch of crazy bug people headhunters. Okay, back to Garrison. So we want to prioritize growth. But we can go with some tech as well. Does our home in Rigel still exist? Yeah, they don't know. There's no way to communicate. I think they're inside the zone of where the signal is, so they really don't have any ongoing contact or anything. The Dorloth are going to have to become a bit more technologically advanced for that. Colonial factions demobilize many Dorloth frontier soldiers. Growth. Growing settlement expands its influence. Influential leader rises to power. Can we build a thriving civilization? I mean, they're doing okay, surprisingly enough. Settlement base expands its influence. You can actually see that we're moving a tiny bit. Dorloth democratic groups have something going on. Paradigm shift in Rigel. Right, so this is kind of the frozen planet that they're on. I'd like to see more of this kind of stuff. The art is definitely, a lot of things have been added, but this is still early access. It's like version 0.6, something like that now, so a lot of things are going to change probably, and stuff added. Democratic groups begins creating an intricate network of tunnels through the ice in Rigel 7. The routes connect metropolitan areas on a global scale, establishing safe trade across land that was previously dangerous or even impassable. Our songs tell of a time when we lived beneath the ice, carved our cities in tunnels of glittering blue and white. Is it any wonder that our greatest heroes came from such a time, when bare survival demanded great deeds? Alright, cultural ascent. The tunnels connect the Dorloth as never before, opening up a free exchange of ideas and people. Dorloth democratic groups develop a new sense of unity. They're already in digital age. I think they'd be contacting each other quite a bit. Cultural expansion. Engineering knowledge is expanded by work on the tunnels. Meanwhile, the economy grows rapidly as the free exchange of global wares becomes easier than ever. This does massively increase growth and decrease resources, which is a bit of a problem. Cultural descent. Convenient at first, it soon becomes clear that these tunnels can also be used to secretly transport large numbers of mechanized infantry. Tension and distrust reach new heights. Interesting. They've got 454 years before advancing to the next era, so I think this is fine to do the ice tunnel network. Travel across the dangerous surface of Rigel 7 becomes much easier in the digital age when the Dorloth democratic groups created an elaborate network of tunnels in the ice to facilitate trade. Actually, that might be a problem. We dropped all the way down to 77 years, so let's deal with that a little bit. Environmental protection measures enacted, restore a land region, still 77 years. Okay. Dorloth video games represent harmony, so that keeps, actually pushed it up a bit. So they should be able to make it to the solar age before resources run out, I think. Let's go check in on the garrison. Yeah, they're doing pretty well. Got some tech. New resource management methods for the colonies. More tech. Same thing. Growth is at 8%, but there's not that many, so we could ramp it up a bit here. Yeah, let's do a bit more for the moment. Populous settlement becomes a colonial administration hub. Just kind of chugging along. Let's reduce the chance of warfare killing everybody off. Social engineers inspire them to live peacefully. New technological age for the Dorloth, so they should be reaching the... Oh, actually, Cyber Age. They're actually quite far behind the Maru. I forgot there's a whole other age in there before we get to Solar. With rapid advancement, artificial intelligence, technologically onward into Dorloth, the civilization undergoes drastic change and reaches new milestones in science, engineering, and the arts. Okay, so we'll take a look once we advance here. Wisdom costs me. Advancement. Focus on engineering. Balances between consumption and resources. Preservation. That doesn't cost me, so that's pretty good. Well, we can go for Dreams of Interstellar Conquest. Yeah, we'll just do advancement, I think, in the Solar Age, or the Cyber Age. Dorloth can now build vast metroplexes, urbanizing the entire surface of Rigel 7. Yeah, so they've got 477 years. Hopefully that's enough time to get out of the Cyber Age. Garrison has something going on. Interesting. Dorloth Garrison. Growth in Glies. Ruin wildlife. Strange animals live in the ruins of Glies, inspiring the Dorloth colonists to wonder if they were the pets, food, or predators of the Rao. One thing they all agree on is that they are very tasty. Aren't we plant people? The Dorloth are plant people, I'm pretty sure, so I don't think they actually eat other things, but maybe. The images found in the ruins indicate that this species was worshipped as gods by the previous civilization, and I would like to concur that they are indeed divine, especially when eaten with a little bit of blam sauce. Okay, so colonists domesticate and breed the alien animals to give the colony steady food supply. That seems like a generally good idea. Regular development hunting the beasts is difficult, but some ruin rangers are able to bring fresh alien meat to the colonial population. Dead end. Exoscientists intervene before the beast can be eaten, making a case to study the animals and keep the ruins from being wrecked by hunters. I kind of like the idea of adapting them and domesticating them. So it only cost me 10, sure, we can do that. We'll help out these guys a bit. It's a massive increase to population growth. There's so few of them that there's resources to last for a very long time. Faction established. We'll go peace here. Just kind of let some time tick by. Someday we'll receive a signal from our companions in Rigel. Do I want to push growth any higher? I don't think so. But I will, considering there's not good other options. Growing settlement expands its influence. I guess we'll do that again. Another expansion. The colonists bred alien animals they found in the ruins of the Rao and created ruin burgers, a staple food of the settlement Zion. Yeah, I think things are going okay there. So we have the Dorloth something. Democratic conglomerates. Maybe we should try to get these guys a little bit further up into the Solar Age. The Maru. Yeah, totally fine. Tons of resources. Kicking butt. Batir are falling a bit behind. Only still in the Nuclear Age. But they're doing okay. While the Vakai, crazy headhunters, have now become very individualistic and a bit more logical. I'm not too worried about the ships. We'll deal with them if something pops up. Yeah, let's sit on the Dorloth for a bit here. Cyber Age technology gives the Dorloth access to resources on nearby planets and moons in the Rigel system. That's fine. Powerful new orbital fighter squad is formed. Oh, something's going on the meteor ship. So this is the Dorloth one. Dorloth Power. Time of the automatic rifle. As they push into the unknown, the officers of Dorloth meteor ship begin to fantasize about invasion campaigns and spaceship warfare. See, the culture's shifting quite a lot already. They begin to enlist the engineers to create new automatic rifles and military robots. The doctrine says that if an advancement can't generate pain in our enemies, then it is not an advancement. I say, if it can kill, then don't waste church funds in it. That's something from the Maru, not from the peaceful, relatively peaceful Dorloth plant people, apparently wanting to just murder everybody. Protests by crew counselors lead to an end of the theoretical war games. Regular development, the Dorloth meteor ship is refitted with an entire arsenal of automatic rifles and military robots by the engineers. Absolute power. The crew is fascinated by weapons development and theoretical war games. Automatic rifles become a status symbol among the Dorloth. You know what? Well, okay, there's only 82 of them, and if there's currently a war, it's going to kill 69. I mean, you wouldn't exactly call it a war at that point with that few people, but if we do this, if they do have a conflict with each other, they're going to wipe each other out. But I kind of like the idea of them becoming, like, they were attacked, they got back on their ship, they got control of it, and now becoming, like, insanely militaristic. I kind of like that idea, so I'm going to roll with it. Absolute power. Prepared for any danger they might encounter in space, every member of the crew had military training and considered it an honor to wield an automatic rifle, considering they're all the way down to Bronze Age tech. So they've lost most of their technology, but they can still apparently pump out assault rifles. Alright, this is not great. So, negative advancement or negative resources. I guess we'll go negative resources here. Production of a new line of autonomous drones begins. Let's drop the population growth. More Titans, eating the population a bit. A bit more peaceful. Value engineers, inspire them to live peacefully. If an alien civilization does exist somewhere in the galaxy, it's very likely to be a synthetic one. Let's go tech. Memes promoting environmental conservation measures, circulate them in the Dorloth. Seeing the tunes. So something happening on the Rao stolen ship. We can check in on them over there. Rao stolen ship reached the agricultural age. The Rao of the Rao stolen ship begin to learn improved agricultural techniques, experimenting with crossbreeding and crop rotation within the great greenhouse modules of the ship. Simple tools mined from the interior ship walls revolutionize both work and warfare. The invaders abducted us on their prison ship. Our people were simple lizard hunters back on Tau Ceti, but in the most unlikely place, in the darkness of our prison vessel, we could grow plants from our beloved home. Alright, how are you doing? Absolutely no growth. Resource scarcity is a while to go away. So aboard the stolen ship, education blossoms with the rediscovery of written language. The priestly class practices simple ship maintenance procedures by rote, keeping systems running by ritual without truly understanding the actions. Advancement. Great advancements in agriculture are made, including the domestication of livestock from the ship's origin planet. The use of animal labor provides great benefits to the intensive farming schemes. Salvage of durable lightweight ship materials allows the crew to create deadly melee weapons. Meanwhile, the discovery of a few rare ancient guns grants almost godlike power to those who find them. These lucky few become warlords ruling by force of arms. Interesting. There's actually 96,000 of them on the stolen ship. We can start getting growth up. I think kind of maintaining things, we'll go, I mean, they still are only Stone Age. They're going to go to Agricultural Age. We'll go Wisdom here, I think. It doesn't have a cost. During the long journey, yeah, same thing we saw before. Alright, yeah, we'll let the Rao ship and the Dorloth ship kind of cruise along and do whatever they want. Everything's fine here, I think. $300. Yeah, we'll sit on the Dorloth here for a bit. More memes. Morrow Divinians have something going on. A great war threatens Tau Ceti. Belt Smuggler Crisis. Underprivileged inhabitants of Tau Ceti's asteroid belt are suspected of exploiting asteroid fields for unauthorized imports and exports. Tau Ceti 3 sends out military ships to resolve the smuggling problem once and for all. They are hatched from rotten eggs. The low gravity made them literally spineless. I say the scum inhabiting the belts are the most despicable specimens of our once proud Gorgon race. So a little Belter conflict. Peace cost me points. Military personnel scout only a few potential threats, sparing operations with ties to Maru dominions and apparently accepting bribes along the way. As political support for the campaign dwindles, troops are quickly withdrawn from the region. Regular conflict. Smuggler wars are long and bloody. Military ships are crushed by asteroids and many Belter settlements are destroyed before the Maru dominions give up and decide to flee the belt. 114 million casualties. That's like a quarter of the population. Total war. Out of sheer determination, or out of desperation and sheer moxie, the ingenious Belters devise a low-tech method of hurtling weaponized asteroids toward Tau Ceti 3. This allows them to retaliate against the much larger and wealthier forces of the Maru dominions. A projectile war of attrition ensues. 343 million casualties, which is like 3/4 of the population. We're fine on resources, so we don't need to drop growth. I think we're going to spend the points for peace here. This is kind of nuts. Like, civilizations trying to destroy themselves. To avoid military embarrassment, the soft occupation of Tau Ceti's asteroid belt was presented by the media as a triumph of diplomacy over violent discord. The war was averted, smuggling increased drastically as the black market was streamlined through the clearance of selected competitors. Alright, fine. Permanent solar colonies on other planets in the Tau Ceti system. Very nice. Yeah, the Maru have really surprised me. They're, like, just flying through technological eras. I did kind of sit on them for a while, but really just kind of nuts. They're going to be 2 eras ahead of the Dorloth here shortly. State-of-the-art science network on Dorloth. Let's drop population growth a bit more. More Titans eating people. Yeah, Maru are into the next technological age. Maru reached the Lightspeed age. Racing into the Lightspeed age, interstellar journeys are shortened from centuries to mere decades. Maru civilization sets new speed records in areas such as quantum state computing, light jet manufacturing, and mining for resources from faraway planets. For the moving organism, the lengthy time of the journey was a mere instant, provided the motion took place with approximately the speed of light. If the stationary organism is a man and the traveling one is his twin, then the traveler returns home to find his twin brother much aged compared to him. Albert Einstein. So, we now have some high-tech stuff on. So wisdom cost me a lot. With the ability to conduct outer space archaeological expeditions, Maru begin to understand their role in the galactic dance of existence. Questions about alien life give rise to the study of xenogenetics. Advancement. The Maru achieve true mastery of space travel, and colonial development crosses major hurdles. The civilization also makes leaps in genetic modifications and cloning, perhaps even creating new life forms such as trash-eating plants. Power. When exploration and travel bring them in closer contact with alien species, the Maru accelerate their arms race to light speed. Well, considering you're the most advanced, I don't think we really need to do that. We'll just go with advancement. So just generally positive things for no cost. I'm fine with that. Population growth is now up a bit. Still only 500 million Maru, and plenty of resources for a while, so we're now into gas giant reservoirs. Pretty balanced as far as that goes, not super violent, but growth is not great. So the Maru were sort of not very many of them. They've gone through lots and lots of resource wars in the past, so I think it's kind of like they're sort of hesitant to spread out and massively increase the population. But they're just astonishingly quickly developing. There's flying through technological eras here, which is kind of nuts. Which is odd. You'd think like the Batir here would go faster because of their emphasis on libraries and things. They are going relatively quickly, considering they're quite a bit younger, and they're already mostly out of the nuclear age. So then it's digital. The Dorloth have just massively slowed down. Okay, let's have some more resources here for the Dorloth. Resource management methods. We'll have some more tech, please. Be a bit more ethical, sure. New media to communicate its history to the civilization. Dwarloth enjoy an enchanting new style of virtual artworks. New age for the Batir. We're just looking at them. So the Batir are now into the digital age. So we've seen this a few times before. Growth is nuts, but at 2.3 billion, you can see just massively more of them than a lot of the other species, like especially the Maru, but plenty of resources for the time being. Wisdom, Batir all over Vexus have unprecedented access to information thanks to the internet. With processing power to spare, they may launch coordinated searches for intelligent life in the galaxy. We've seen this before, so we could do that. We could go advancement, which is mass consumerism, city planning, genetically modified crops, or we can go with automated killing machines. These guys are really utopian. I think we'll keep kind of pushing that. It kind of makes sense. So we'll go with wisdom for these guys. Doesn't cost me anything. So everything's fine. Nothing really changed. Scarcity is a bit of an issue. The Batir can now connect large library areas on a global scale. So they've got about 800 years, but they're already 11% into the digital age, like immediately. So kind of nuts. The Vakai have something going on. More enlightenment. This race of crazy bug headhunters is not developing the way I expected. The most respected philosophers of the age come to the conclusion that the fate of every mortal has already been chosen by the gods, that nothing one does will change their destiny. Will this philosophical insight free the inhabitants of Kepler 4 to live their lives more freely, or will they be gripped by fear and helplessness before the whims of destiny? I've seen this a while ago with one of the other species. So, civilizational pillar. The Vakai embrace their divine ignorance. They choose to live their lives free of worry, knowing that the gods have chosen their paths wisely and with care. Regular development. Over time, the sages and trapper prolocutors abandon the ancient religions, choosing to embrace the concept of free will over a divine plan, or dead end. The Vakai begin to live in fear of the will of the gods. Helplessness and ennui overtake the Vakai ladders as the common people slide into mass existential dread. Yeah, I think we'll just do regular developments. That makes sense to me. So over time, kind of focusing more on free will. Officially, the worship of the gods was abandoned in the Obsidian Age, but many continue to practice their religions in private. Their religion was never made illegal. The practice was frowned upon, considered as a primitive outlet for superstitious fools. Alright. Still in the Obsidian era there. Yeah, there's no way they're going to detect that message that got sent to them. Since they're still quite low tech. I could kind of sit on the Vakai for a bit and see if I could get them to advance faster. Maru are just advancing like crazy. I'm trying to get the Dorloth to catch up here, but it's not working. Environmental conservation. Could definitely get the growth down. 7 billion of these guys is a bit much. Environmental protection measures. Oh, we've got a resource crisis with the Vakai. I didn't even realize. Security crisis in Kepler. Obsidian shard scarcity. Obsidian deposits are becoming scarce in the Kepler system. The effects of hunting brought the Vakai civilization to a breaking point. While they're dealing with a resource scarcity, will the ladders find a way to prevent the complete exhaustion of the environment, or will they turn against each other? Well, I think they're going to get a bit more violent. They're already crazy headhunters, so yeah, we'll see. Chance for decline 60%. Vakai ladders prepare for future without obsidian shards, which is just weird. I mean, it's not like you need... I guess they're using them for tools and stuff too, so... Crisis, 67% chance of hostilities. Scarcity causes discord and competition among the Vakai. Knowledge diminishes while the leaders of Kepler compete for dwindling resources. War! The Vakai pick up their obsidian blades and fight over access to the remaining obsidian deposits. War hordes destroy entire settlements in the so-called Obsidian Shard Wars. 2.6 million casualties. There's 36.8 million out there. Yeah, you can have a nice war over the resources. That's fine. Let's progress things here a little bit. Let's see how things are going. Growth is now 0%. They've got 81 years of resources. Can now build stable settlements in the primordial lands and sustain them with irrigation. Let's get a bit more resources. Just stabilizes. Depleted region recovers. Growth is currently 0%, which is actually good for resource-wise. We don't want to push up too much, kind of burn through the resources, because they aren't advancing technologically very fast. Are the gods watching us? I'd like to maybe get these guys some increase in their tech. Once powerful ladder falls on Kepler 4. There we go, there's some tech. Remarkable Sage is celebrated for the contributions to Vikai society. So that was a huge improvement there. Let's do that again. I'd like to get these guys out of this tech era. Dorloth Democratic conglomerates have something going on. The Simpletons Show. The longest-running show of all time is the once very beloved The Simpletons, which migrated from television to holograms and everything in between. However, this enduring cartoon family of yellow-skinned Dorloth has run slightly dry of ideas and is now getting on everyone's nerves with celebrity-glorifying cameos and cultural references devoid of humor. Does this sound familiar to anyone? Will the comfortably numbing drivel finally be cancelled, or will the long reign of the worn-out cultural icon persist indefinitely? Irony, this argument runs, has become reactionary rather than revolutionary. Instead of critique, irony is used to reassure the hip kids that they're still hip, and the status quo is smirkingly reaffirmed. Kevin Detmar, cultural commentator from Leaving Springfield, The Simpsons, and the Possibility of Opposition Culture. So, Simpletons must go! Cultural assent. Dorloth protests the show, and it finally gets the sack. Horatio Simpleton eats their last donut. Cultural expansion. It might not be what it used to be, but The Simpletons is still a perfectly cromulent show. Along with the renewal, a huge merchandising deal triggers a palpable surge in resource consumption. The Simpletons brand contraceptive devices don't work too well, though. This does increase growth and reduce resources, which is kind of bad. Cultural descent. The Simpletons becomes non-optional essential programming. A once charming spot of light and evening entertainment has hideously mutated into a monstrous tool of propaganda. Yeah, we can just cancel it. We've got the points for it. Cancel the Simpleton. It requires a galactic gardener to intervene in your civilization to get it canceled. Alright. Resources are actually pretty good considering growth is so high here. Let's get some more tech. Great cyberneticist who leaves behind an important legacy. Relatively peaceful, but we can get that a little better. Conflict settled peacefully. Tech is ticking up really slowly. Not even halfway to the solar age here. Whereas the Mario are already in Lightspeed, which is kind of nuts. The signal that the Dorloth sent out a long time ago is actually almost at the Maru. But here are a digital Dorloth and Cyber, which is just past digital. The garrison here is almost out of the nuclear age, so they'll hit digital next. So that's kind of cool. Now 11 million Dorloth there. The Vikai over here, our crazy headhunters, are now involved in the Shard Wars. So we're a period of deadly conflict over the remaining obsidian deposits on Kepler. Currently no population growth. So they're kind of holding steady. Let's take a look at the last other stuff. We have the Rao ship out here. It's going to let me pick it. Or not. There it is. Tiny little thing. 96,000 Rao on their stolen ship, traveling towards Alpha Centauri. They've got 500 years of resources, no growth. They're actually doing pretty well. They've stabilized all right. The Dorloth meteor ship is also heading towards Alpha Centauri. They've got 12,000 years of storage because there's only 82 of them alive. So, yeah. too few for warfare, so they can't actually fight. Alright. Yeah, not too many of them headed out. So we could have a replay of the conflict out there, although I think the Rao are closer. It's kind of weird the way it's showing where they're at. But I think that's going to do it for today. So just a bit more of how things are going with the Maru here all the way into the Lightspeed age and flying through it. They've pulled way ahead, and despite their conflicts in the past, doing quite well. The Dorloth are spreading to multiple systems, though, so you could kind of argue they're slightly better off. But I think the Maru here are technologically just kind of flying past everybody else and doing the best. Interesting overall, nothing too crazy going on other than what happened on Gliese with the fight between the Dorloth and the Rao, kind of resulting in some odd things happening. We could still have other alien races pop up, but we'll see what happens as things progress. I think the game kind of ends, or you can end it as soon as one race hits singularity. I don't think you have to hit with like all, but I might be remembering wrong. I think you can keep playing until everybody hits singularity age and just kind of see what happens. But yeah, it's an interesting game. I kind of like kind of the weird stuff that pops up. There is going to be, I'm sure, more events and things that will be added in the game as it goes along. It is early access, but it's been kind of fun playing through. So hopefully you've been enjoying it. I've been Disturbing Puppet. Thanks for coming by. Hopefully I'll see you next time. Until then, have a good one.